Today, we're taking a classic piece of Icelandic aviation history into one of the most dramatic parts of the country. The Douglas DC-6 Bravo was part of Icelandair and Fluglaf Iceland's story during the piston airliner era, before jets took completely over. Icelandair's route actually go back to 1937 in the city of Akureyri. Sorry about the pronunciation, which make today's destination especially fitting. We are here in Ísafjörður, and we are going to depart on this short 1400-meter runway tucked deep inside the Westfjords. And we're going to head across Iceland to Akureyri, a city that sits right next to the heart of Icelandic aviation history. So, as we approach the airport here, we are going to do the setup for this historic airliner. As you can see, it's quite a short runway, so we're not gonna depart fully laden out, but we're gonna treat this as a short domestic hop. Another part we're going to simulate is we're going to do this by NDB's VORs and end up with a pretty steep ILS into Akureyri's runway 01. Very spectacular approach down through the valleys where we will end up down by the fjord where the runway sits tucked in. The departure will be visually out through the fjord here, where we'll make a right turn and climb up above the mountains and the glaciers. So, as you can see, airport right on the edge of the fjord here. Not much space on the apron. And this lovely DC-6 with Icelandair historic livery as well. We have some ground power connected and passengers are already aboard. So let's just jump into the cockpit and get going. So here we are. Everything is ready for us. And we have the fuel we need. Just 34 passengers, a little bit of baggage and half tanks. And we can remove the oil pans. We can start closing up. And our AFE, our engineer, can start the before start.
Completed.
Very
Voice
good.
recorder. Tested. Oil coolers and cow flaps. Auto and position. Fuel and fluids. Checked. Pressurization. Set. Manifold and duct pressure. Checked. Radios. Checked. Doors and hatches. Closed. Door warning lights. Out. Gear pins. Removed. 3 on board. Seat belts and pedals. Adjusted. Throttles. Set to idle. Propellers. Forward and 3. Before start checks complete. Start engines.
Very good. Let's start engine number 3. So we're just checking ignition, engine selector, fuel pump, and down here we have a mixture. So we're gonna press the start. He's gonna count.
3, 6,
On 12 we're gonna start.
12.
So we're looking for oil pressure, number 3. Oil temperature is gonna start rising. Fuel pressure is good. Everything here looks good. And he's turning that off. Next up is number 4. Starting 4.
3, 6, 9, 12.
Oil pressure. Temps increasing. Fuel pressure. And it's coming up nicely. So after he turns that off, we're switching to plain battery and disconnecting the ground power. So everything is ready for the left side. Number 2. Oil pressure, fuel pressure, everything is coming up nicely. And let's do number 1. Very nice. We have oil pressure, fuel, temps are coming up. So we're just gonna let the engines warm up a bit while we do our setup. Everything's off. AFE, please do the after start procedures.
Start selected boost pumps. Off and off. Battery switch. Plane battery. Generators and inverters. Checked and on. Emergency lights. Armed. Ground power. Removed. After start checks complete.
So let's have a quick look at today's flight. We are starting over here at Ísafjörður. We are going to go out through the fjord. I put in IS, the NDB here. We're not going to overfly it, but I'm going to tune it, and we will climb out through the fjord, take a right turn to OG NDB as well, and then we're going to climb up over the mountains to Gulf Juliet, cross over the fjord and the mountains here to November Bravo NDB, and that's the initial for the ILS. With November Bravo transition, we can add it to the route here. So coming down Let's have a look at the chart. That's localizer. We can do the ILS, I think. Let's change to the ILS. Yeah, that's better. To Pexel, Foxtrot India 01, and then just go down. We can also tune Alpha Kilo India VOR to have as a distance reading on the way over. So let's just minimize this and have a look over here at the old school GPS. So our flight plan is BII S Ísafjörður, correct. Let's put in IS. And then I said OG. Ogre in Iceland. Yeah, we can do NDB. Over to Golf Juliet. Gjögur. NDB. Yeah, let's do Iceland. China is a little bit far away. And NB. Akureyri. NDB. And after that it's gonna be Bravo India Alpha Romeo. Very nice. We can select an approach. ILS 01, November Bravo, and load it. Cool. So that's an old school routing here. We'll go out of the flight plan and we can see that that checks out. Initially planned for 11,000 feet. We can check weather here is 992 on the QNH. This is just American, of course it is. Let me just convert to that. 2929 should do it. And that's reasonable with the sea just over here. Weather at Ísafjörður is showing overcast, 2,100 feet, 8 degrees, 12 knots from 05, so just a slight left crosswind. And coming over to Akureyri, they are showing broken 600. 7 knots from 330, 8,000 meters visibility, overcast 1,700. Same QNH, we're just gonna fly on that over there, 7 degrees. Yep, the ILS can take us down to 320 feet, although I think for us it might be higher, maybe 740 feet seems more reasonable with the climb gradient we can do in case of a missed approach. But it should still be very doable with that broken layer, but it's going to be a little bit closer. Let's have a look at the engine temperatures. Everything is coming up nicely. And engine stress looks good. And I'm just going to be open. I've turned off the engine damage for now. I have flown with it, but being single pilot and being new to the aircraft and doing this kind of flying with NDBs and BIARs, it's for now it's enough just to deal with the flying part of it. So I'm not gonna worry too much about engine damage. I'm gonna try to fly it as reasonable as possible, of course, but yeah, this thing is a handful to fly solo. Let me just double check. IS is 385. So let's tune that. So 385 is set, and let's preload OG. That is shown, I think it's 400 on the maps. And that's co-located with the Augur BIAR. That's 1101. Very good. And we can see that the first NDB is already being located, so we have that as a reference point. We can just switch over here. Yeah, it's not showing that, but that's totally fine with the mountains being in the way. Very good. Let's turn him off. And we are going to taxi out. Are the lights extended? No, they're not. So let's do that. Come on. There they are. And you can turn them off and they stay down. Gonna release park brakes. Check the brakes, they work. Throttle smooth.
Boost pumps. Boost pumps on low. Fuel selector and crossfeed. Main tanks and crossfeed off. Flaps set to 20. Windows and turbine.
This thing doesn't seem to want to turn really, so I'm gonna use differential braking as well to
Last lock released. Free.
to get it around.
Pitot.
Full brake, differential thrust, and a little bit of brake.
Mixture and cowl flaps. Bridge unlocked. Set. Transponder. On. Landing lights. Extended and on. Before takeoff checks complete. 30 inches stabilize. 30 inches stabilize.
Just let the AFE set to the power.
Stabilized. Cowl flaps. Cowl flaps. Cowl flaps set. Full power, please. Going full power. Full power set.
And release brakes. Knots. Rotate at about 100. So here we go. Pause the rate.
Positive rate, gear up. Gear selected up. Gear up, lights out. Flaps up. Flaps going up. Meter power. Setting meter power 48 inches, 2600 RPM. Meter power set. Climb power. Setting climb power.
So we're gonna climb out here at about
Climb power set.
165, 170, I think. And switch to the next NDB, see if it, yeah,
After
it
takeoff
tunes
checks
it.
complete.
So we just keep the turn going until we are pointing straight towards that. We can engage the autopilot if it wants to, just keep flying the aircraft. No, doesn't want to, okay. Just continue hand flying then, keep it straight, keep it climbing towards that NDB. There we go. Gyro. It frees up a lot of pilot mental capacity. We gotta keep an eye out for temperatures. It's quite cold. Airfoil, carb, and prop can come on. We can pitch up a little bit. See if we can get on top of this layer. And if we have a direct to auger, that should center this, so we can fly from that as well. And let's see what happens if the mouse just got stuck. Can we go to localizer? Will it try to follow this? It's set to GPS up here, so it should track. Yeah, looks like it's tracking nicely. And we're climbing almost 5,000 feet, getting on top, that's good. Don't want to get stuck in this cloud layer if we can avoid it. Beautiful looking aircraft though, very nice model, nice shiny aluminium. What was the name of this All of these old Icelandair should have names, but it doesn't seem like this one is marked. Can pitch down just a little bit. So now it's doing its turn, and that turn is towards Jógur, Golf Juliet. We can tune that on 340 on the NDB. There we are, and yep, it's picking it up already. Very good. After that, we will have the November Bravo button 387. So we can prepare that as well. Nice. Looks pretty calm here now. Seatbelts are already off. Why are the beacons not on? Like that. Keep an eye out on the temps. They are in the green. Carb is looking a little bit cold. But I think the oil temps need it. It's below the yellow, so I think that should mean less chance of carb icing. Oil pressure, everything looks good. And the stress, oil temps, yeah, it's in a high range, but it's fine. So now we're just gonna continue climbing up to 11,000 feet. And yeah, I tuned it to number 2, that's correct. We are flying away from that. And the next one will be all the way over on the mountain besides Akureyri 1136. So I'm gonna prepare that as well. We can put that in number 1. 36. And if we bring up Navigraph, we can also see that the localizer frequency is 1089er. That was already tuned. 1089er. So we're gonna have that ready 2 times. Final approach course 008, but we're gonna deal with that later. We can just tune it now, it doesn't really matter. And that's 10, so about there. One thing to remember as well, sorry, let's remove that. So I put 008 as the final approach course here already. One thing to remember is that we're approaching 10,000 now, and we have the cabin pressure. Well, is it set? No, it got reset. I had to restart the flight because there was a bug with the engines, so some things got reset. I'm gonna set that to 11, so we got to correct cabin pressure. That's changing, but it doesn't have the automation you're used to in the autopilot. So we are going to have to stop it climbing. So I'm gonna start by lowering the nose a little bit here to make the final part of the climb more shallow, and then you're gonna have to press the altitude control on yourself to stop it from climbing. So, and it's leveling off. Stabilizing, and we can
Set cruise power, please.
set cruise power.
Setting cruise power. Cruise power is set.
Thank you. So one thing, if you want to adjust your cruise power yourself, I'm moving my physical throttles now, but nothing's happening. And that's because
Cruise checks are complete.
as long as the AFE is engaged here, it's gonna lock the throttles. If you want to take control of yourself, you can remove the green tick, and you can do that. I'm going to do that for the descent a little bit later on. Continue monitoring your engines. Everything looks good. He has set the cowl flaps to cruise. Should give us good oil temps. Engine stress all in the green. That's nice. And it leveled off precisely at 11,000 feet. So let's have a look. So distance 12 miles to the next point, that's 3 minutes. And we can also have a little look at descent planning. So on Navigraph, if we look at, let's look at Paxil, that should be 6,000 feet. So we need to drop 5,000 feet to Paxil. And I'm just gonna do it a very simple time-based descent today. We're gonna do 500 feet per minute. So that's gonna be 10 minutes out, approximately. If I get a little bit closer, that's not a big deal. But we can see now we're going from OG to Golf Juliet. That's 2 minutes. When it's going inbound towards November, sorry about Navigrapher, you can see it's going to Oscar Golf and Golf Juliet. 2 minutes left. When it's going towards November Bravo, we're gonna start looking at the descent. It should give us 85 miles on that leg. And then it's short leg here, that's 7.7 miles. When we get the time towards November Bravo, I'm going to eyeball a descent down from that time. We could also calculate the distance, but I don't think that's going to be needed with the speeds we're going to fly. Sadly not much to see here today. The lovely terrain, wow, look at that, some mountain tops peeking through the clouds. As we are now turning inbound towards November Bravo, see we have about 20 minutes left, and if we are descending 5,000 feet for 500 feet per minute, that should be 10 minutes out. So we have 10 minutes of cruise before we have to do anything. So with these old aircraft, important to monitor everything. You have so many dials and gauges and buttons that you need to pay attention to. You get some help from the AFE, but yeah, we need to try to figure out how everything works there. So important to keep an eye out on your fuel, of course, and engines. You live and die by them, so keeping them within the green range is very important. So we're just going to continue monitoring here as we fly towards November Bravo, and then we'll pick it back up when we start descending. Since we are past the Gulf Juliet, I'm gonna switch over to November Bravo. See, oh, it's a little bit too far away yet, but that's gonna swing around soon anyway. And we also had 1136 Akureyri's BIAR 136, and yeah, we can change to 171 miles, and that's straight line distance. And November Bravo, that's 73, so everything matches up. And you can see the BIAR is slightly to our left, and that matches Navigraph as well, since we are flying here and it's up here on the mountain, so slightly left of our track. Yeah, so everything goes according to plan. Flight engineer is continuing to adjust things for us as long as he is active. We're gonna call for descent in about 8 minutes time, and we'll take it from there. So we're coming up on 10 minutes, and as we can see, 42 miles left. We are going to start down very gently.
26 inches, please. Setting 26 inches.
Turn off the altitude hold, meaning we can start pitching down, and we're just gonna adjust the pitch.
26 inches set. Descent checklist, please.
And keep it to about 500 feet per minute.
Seatbelt signs on. On. Engine blow is low. Low. Descent checks are complete.
So this will be an interesting approach, even though we're flying ILS. The approach itself is 5.3 degrees glide slope, so it's a very steep approach, meaning we are going to configure early. We want some flaps and gear down to keep the speed down, and as you can see, it's also slightly offset, meaning we will have a little bit of a skewed picture. And I've done a test sector here, and the minimas are very close and a little bit to the left of the runway as you come in. So you're kind of having to do a right turn and line up to the runway when you break out if the cloud layer is low. It's now showing 700 feet broken, overcasts 1007, 9000 meters visibility, so it is slightly improved from when we left over at Ísafjörður. In case of misapproach, straight ahead, 1.6 miles from the localizer, left turn on 354 to, so we're gonna need to tune two locators here, OE and HJ. HJ is there and OE is at the end, so when we're getting closer to November Bravo, I'm gonna change over to Oscar Echo and then pre-tune Hotel Juliet as well. Yeah, that seems logical. This is in the box as well, so we don't need it, but it's good to have a backup, and Oscar Echo will be very nice to have as a secondary pointer to point us down the path, because it's located at the end of the runway anyway. So from Hotel Juliet, intercept 338 Alpha Kilo India, that's 1136, we have that already. Outbound at 5500 passing Hotel Juliet, whichever is later right turn direct Alfa Romeo, so it's 3 NDBs. This is very hectic as single pilot, yeah, so Alfa Romeo I won't be able to pre-tune 6000 feet, and yeah, the MSAs are 6656 in this area, so you are pretty close to the mountains when you're doing this. Minimass, as I said, I'm gonna assume that we will not be able to do more than about 2.5 degrees climb gradient minimum here, so I'm gonna set our minima to 740. Well, there's no place to set it, but we are going to assume that and just pay attention to that over here on our altimeters. We're just gonna, we have to pay attention to that ourselves, and yeah, that's gonna be it. Everything's gonna happen very fast. Single pilot, it's a lot to do. If we didn't have the AFE, yeah, this would be very, very hard. So let's have a look here. We have 6 minutes to go. 23 miles. Meaning we, at 5 minutes, we should pass 8,000 feet. We have 500 feet to go, 500 feet per minute. Should be approximately 5 minutes to go. So our descent calculation based on time is proving to be accurate enough for now. Oh, it's a little bit too fast maybe. Oh yeah, well, it's a few seconds off, 10 seconds off. But we can adjust our descent rate as we get closer, and after well, that's for November Bravo actually, so we can reduce that descent rate already, because we have 7 miles after November Bravo to get to 6,000 feet, and then the initial fix will be 4,800 feet. That's on the localizer at 8.4 miles, and that's where your 5.3 degree glide slope starts. So yep, just be early in this aircraft when you're a single pilot and not used to what you're gonna do. It's a complex thing to do, and it's very hard to slow down when you're on the glide path. So yeah, just be mindful, do things in the correct order, be ahead of the aircraft. That's a very important thing in all types of flight, basically. Yeah. And as far as I know, you can set flaps 20 at 174. So about here. So we don't have to reduce speed that much before we can do something, and the gear is the same. So after we pass November Bravo, I'm gonna turn the AFE off and reduce the power during descent to get our approach speeds down. 152, so that's the white arc here, and that's for full flaps. I don't know what he's adjusting. I can hear the clicks sometimes, but I don't know exactly what he's doing. Is it fuel or superchargers or something like that? Okay, 4 minutes approximately. Looks pretty good. November Bravo is almost straight ahead, so that checks with our charts. And then it's going to be a left turn to Pexel, and according to chart stats on a 063 radial. But our GPS is handling all of this now, so I'm not turning the course selector or anything. I'm just keeping that for the final localizer. And one thing we have to remember is when we're intercepting localizer, we have to change the CDI over to BIAR loc. Very, very important. And to change the course, the frequency, both on number 1 and number 2 radios. I'm gonna do that after we pass November Bravo. As we can see now, we have 26.4 miles over to the VOR. It's 9 miles to November Bravo, plus 7.7 to Pexel. So this seems to be going quite well so far. I am going to increase descent just slightly now. I don't want to be late to the 6,000 feet. It's all well and good to do a constant descent final approach as CDFA, but again, we're single pilot. This aircraft was built in a time period where CDFAs didn't exist, so they did level off procedures. I might do a little bit of that just to be ahead of the aircraft and to as we can see, we just have 400 feet left to 6,000, so I can slacken off a little bit, but I don't want to be late to it and get behind. I would rather level off a little bit and fly straight and level than having to dive bomb to catch up, because that's gonna be a very high workload environment for us. So the next localizer is Akureyri 415. Let's tune that. 415 coming up. And after that we had Hotel Juliet Ísafjörður 319er, so I'm gonna tune that as soon as, yeah, we're approaching November Bravo now. I'll switch this over, 315. Approaching 6,000 feet as well. It's not gonna stop descending by itself. Sorry, 319er. So 9er and 3. Not picking up 415 though. Okay. So now we're inbound Exhale. I want to slow down a little bit. That's a gear warning horn. Speed is coming down. Approximately 6,000 feet. That's fine. I'm gonna switch this over to gyro. So it's gonna just keep it straight and level going in. I can switch the frequencies here. As you can see, that's picking it up. And now I have to watch my descent rate. It's way too high. I don't want to go below 6,000 feet here. Not until Pexel. So please stop descending. Speed is looking good. I'm going to bring in a little bit more power. Just keep it here. I'm going to set 1 notch of flaps. And since we're not using the GPS, I'm switching this as well, and you can see localizer glide slope is coming back in here. We don't need to climb, but just keep it here. And as soon as this starts to move, I'll switch the selector in the middle here over to approach, and let's hope it picks it up. Don't need to climb. Localizer should start moving shortly. Speed is looking good. Are we not getting flaps? And localizer. So we can go down to 4,800 feet now. Slight overshoot. And as mentioned, I want to be ready for the glide slope. Doesn't seem like the flaps is coming out though. Maybe
Cooling turbine. Normal.
we'll do the
Fuel
AFE.
booster pumps. On low. Fuel tank selectors. Mains on, crossfeed off. Hydraulic bypass valve. Down. No smoking signs. On. In-range checks complete.
Thank you. Glide slope is alive, gear is coming down.
Flaps 20. Setting flaps 20.
Let's see, yeah, when he sets flap it works, okay.
20 flaps set. Mixtures rich, please. Auto rich.
So I'm just gonna keep the speed
Mixtures
here,
set.
but we're in the white
Gear
range
up
and
and
that's
down,
where I
please.
want to be. It's gonna
Gear up and
start
down.
down very shortly.
Gear down and locked. 3 greens.
And there we go. We're just gonna reduce the power. And final
2400
approach
RPM
will
set.
be about 105.
Plus 3 degrees. Cal flaps set. ADI. ADI off. ADI is off. Landing lights. Speed good. Extending lights.
Localized locator has
Lights
been picked
extended
up as
and on.
well.
Carbine. Carbine cold. Set cold. Before landing checks complete.
Very good. And we're about, yeah, 8.4. That's descent checkpoint, 4,800 feet. We passed that on target. Very nice. Speed is looking good. We can start bringing it down. And I will bring flaps to full. Very cool. Some barn doors coming down here. And check speed now. Keep it at 110 for now. But as soon as we have those barn doors open, then it's no problem keeping the speed coming down. Let's remember and rebrief our minima, 740. We should be able to spot the runway, hopefully. Watch the speed, a little bit low, correcting. Everything else looks good. Seat sign is on. Now we can start seeing, so as you see, flying down through the mountains here. Really spectacular approach this. Want to do this with the Dash 8 as well. They fly here regularly from Reykjavik. So maybe we'll do that in X-Plane 10 someday, or really hoping Majestic comes with their Dash 8 for MSF soon as well. That's gonna be really fun. So we can already see, yeah, we can see the runways. We have contact. It's a very, I'm not sure if those poppies in real life are lined up with the glide slope, but we are visual now anyway, so that's very cool. Since we are visual, I am going to turn off the autopilot. Thank you. My aircraft, and we have the poppies, and there's no reason to be very high on the final part if we can avoid it. So I'm gonna break off the localizer here and dive down a little bit so we can reduce the speed on the final part of the approach. Yep, we can see the mountains, so that's no problem. And this aircraft hand flies so nicely. I've made profile for MOSA as well, my AI 210 force feedback yoke with vibrations and a little bit of yeah, you can really feel when the aircraft is out of trim. So compared to more modern jet aircraft, this is where the force feedback is really useful. These old types of aircraft where you can feel the forces of the airfoils through cables. I've been struggling to get good feeling for more fly-by-wire or hydraulic systems on the force feedback. It just, I can't get the profiles right, but this kind of flying, this is really cool to hand fly. So we're on poppies, everything's looking good. 2,400 meter runway here, so nice and long. Speed is a little bit high, reducing throttle. Keep it coming down. A little bit low, but we are visual, so that's no big deal. 100 knots, a little bit of throttle. So smooth, this aircraft. And throttle to idle. Flare. Oh, nicely. Yes, the reversers are on, yep. And the beta. Cool. Welcome to Akureyri. After landing, please.
After landing checks complete.
Thank you. We're just gonna turn it around here. Very gray day here. Let's see over the nose. Turn it around here. A little bit of brake, a little bit of power on. Okay, yeah, we can go over to you. Where are you? Okay. Very nice. Stop there. And
Parking brake is set.
parking.
Entrance.
Very nice. Ramp manager. Let's get a ground power. Chocks, oil pans. Just wait for the flight engineer.
Parking checks complete. Airplane secured.
Thank you. And we'll do ground power. Turn him off. And I would like main cabin. And we can do the front stairs as well. Those are kind of cool. The fold out stairs. Yeah. Just a very cool aircraft. And the scenery here, both airports are default Microsoft. But yeah, very nice small airports. And as I said, as soon as the Dash 8 launches for MSFS, Iceland is one of those places where we just have to go flying here. So many cool approaches and airports. So and one of the places where there are active Dash 8s flying today. So that's going to be really, really fun to do. And just, yeah, very lovely, this model from PMDG. We can have a quick look here on the inside as well. Not sure if you can open this door, but you can pass through it. So we're going to do that. All these old instruments, David Clark's. Yeah, just a lovely model. Let's duck through this door. First class business, not the same as the modern airliners, but yeah, this is just, it's a nice model. Of course, there are higher fidelity graphics in other aircraft models, but yeah. And as I said, one of the cool things with this aircraft is it just hand flies beautifully. And if you have force feedback, try to set up a profile for this with a little bit of vibration. I have vibrations going when the engine is starting, and it starts shaking just a little bit. So yeah, and you can see the oil pans under the engines because they will drip engine oil. Old engines do that. So yeah, very, very cool. Not the highest detailed graphic, but plenty enough and very smooth on the FPS as well, in my opinion. Yes. So that's it for today's flight, guys. I hope you like this, and I'm gonna make more videos with this aircraft coming on later on as well. So please like, comment, and subscribe if this is something you'd like to see more of. And if you have real-world routes you would like to see with either this or the cargo variant, just please leave a comment below. So that's it for today. I hope you had a pleasant flight with me here, and wherever you're in the world, I hope you have a pleasant day. Goodbye, and I'll see you next time.